Hey everybody, welcome back to my blog. Once again, I want to thank all of you who've been constantly interacting with me, leaving comments, sharing your experiences with me. I really appreciate it and appreciate being part of this writing community online. My blog today is called Being Bold. So I'm gonna discuss just quick 5 things that I've kind of learned over time on how to make sure I'm developing a bold, strong brand as a memoir writer, being confident in my writing. Of course, the first step of building confidence is dealing with fear. And I had a blog post I made a few weeks ago called Dealing with Fear. So if you guys haven't seen that one already, I would highly suggest you see that one. And I talk about a lot of the fears I deal with as a memoir writer and how I handle those fears. Fear is debilitating and it can keep you from writing, and it can keep you from having that strong, bold voice and that strong, bold brand. So the first step always is learning how to manage fears, because they never go away, but we can learn how to manage them. The second thing that helped me build a bolder, stronger brand and be more confident is just being confident in my story and my storytelling. For this one, I would suggest telling your story to other people, to friends, to family, to your writing critique group, to somebody at work. Share your story with others, because in the process of telling your story to others, that's when you're gonna learn the overarching themes in your story, what the important parts are, what parts are more interesting or more engaging to your audience, and what parts you need to leave out when you're writing it down. So it really helps you familiarize yourself with your story and how to tell it. And it helps you become more confident in the story you're telling. And so the next step is knowing the overarching themes of your story. So this, again, as I mentioned, when you're telling your story to others, you will start to recognize those overarching themes and what the purpose of your story is. So for example, my memoir, I know the overarching themes are that it's an immigrant story, so the immigrant experience, and dealing with illness and loss of a loved one. So when I know the overarching themes of my story, my writing is more confident because I know what direction it has to go in, especially because my memoir is a collection of essays. It's not in chronological order, so I have to make sure I'm confident about what my themes are so that all the essays are coherent and connect to each other based on the themes that I'm covering in my memoir. As you gain confidence in your story and you figure out what the overarching themes are, this will also help you narrow down your audience. And that leads me to number 4, which is knowing your audience. This will help you write better. And of course, it will also help you later on in the marketing end of your publishing process. So when you're writing, it's very important to know your audience. For example, my audience is based on my overarching themes. My audience will be Indian Americans, immigrants, people who've lost a family member. So my overarching themes tell me who my audience is. And when I'm writing, I can focus on those themes and also purposefully include that audience in my writing. The way I write, I can make them feel included on purpose, not just, oh, this just happens to be something that will interest immigrants, or just happens to be something that'll interest Indian Americans. I'm including my audience in my writing on purpose from the beginning, and that also gives my writing much more confidence and direction. And then of course, for marketing purposes, if you're self-publishing, you have to do all that work yourself. You really do need to know who your audience is. You need to know who you're marketing your book to. If you're going the traditional route, a lot of agents will ask you, what's your platform, who's your audience, so that even your agent, your publishing company can figure out how to market your memoir. So knowing your audience is very important, and the earlier you can learn it, the better. And if you're confident about your story, if you're able to manage your fears, and you know what the overarching themes of your memoir are, it's a lot easier for you to know who your audience is as well. The fifth and final thing I have learned about developing a bold brand and how to be bold in your memoir writing is developing a strong voice. And I've posted many blogs about this already as well. Once you learn how to manage your fears and be confident in your story, that's when your voice becomes bold. That's when your writing becomes bold. I've heard so many agents and editors say this, but voice is the most important factor in memoir. In order to stand out with your voice, you have to make sure you have a strong, bold, confident voice. And it's taken me a long time to develop it, and I'm still working on it as I overcome my fears and become more confident in my story and my storytelling ability. So those are just a few ways that I have learned to become bold in my memoir writing and in my brand in general. I hope they were helpful, useful to you. My blog for next Wednesday will talk about the infamous writer's block and what that means and how I attempt to work through moments when I have writer's block. So thank you guys for watching again. Please leave comments below with your experiences on how you've learned to be bold in your writing style, in your brand. I would love to learn more from you all. So once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.